Hi everyone, it's Maggie, and I have another project share. I finished a fabric book. It's a little bit smaller than what I usually make. I used smaller napkins in order to make this book. It's not about people or women or, Victorians. It's about flowers and birds. I had these beautiful images and I just wanted to use them in some way, so I thought a book would be nice, and to use something non people, image wise, I thought would be a little bit different. So this is the cover of the book, and that's the first image, and I just love that image. And I won't go into, by now, hopefully anybody that has watched my videos knows how I, make my books out of napkins and, excuse me. Let me open it up though so I can show you the front and the back, because I do usually, whatever I put around it, I do around both the front and the back as I start the book. And I started off with some trims at the bottom, but I didn't use a lot of dangles in this book. And I tried to keep them shorter than what I normally do also. So this is the top trim that I used, and I added these flowers with the pearls, and I just knocked one pearl loose, so I'll have to tighten that one up. And it just came off. Let me put that over here so I don't lose it. And then this here is a dangle, and then under that is this trim here. And this is from Craft Supplies for You. Actually, I think that one and this one is from Craft Supplies for You. And then on the top, I added this trim here, which I think also is from Craft Supplies for You, but it does have a bottom to it, and I cut the bottom off. I just wanted this part here. And then I went around the edging with, I think I just used the one with the polka dot trim, Craft Supplies for You. And I think this, yeah, that's on the other side. And then I went around to finish it off with this pleated trim in the middle from my stash, and then this flower trim I got a while ago, and I just love it, and I've used it a lot lately, but it just goes so well with some of the colors and the things that I make. And then I added this large flower on the back because it needed something on the back this time. Usually I leave the back more blank, but because it was smaller, it just kind of looked a little too bare. And then these little rolled roses, that trims from Craft Supplies for You. And then on the front, I just added a bunch of flowers. Some of them are already made applique flowers from my stash, and then others I built up from trims, and then I added some rhinestones. Here's a little piece. I added a lot of snippet pieces too to this book, and then around it I framed it in this trim here, and then more of that trim. And then I used this trim on the side from my stash for the spine. And then you open it up, and here's the first two images, and they're of birds. This one is birds out of their cage, I guess you'd say. And this this is a piece of an applique. I added some tulle and pearl flowers. There's a doily under there, but you can barely see it. More of that rolled rose trim. And on this side, I used this satin and organza trim to go around. And then there's a couple of different dangles on the inside. So there's 2 on this side. And then there's some appliques. This one here that I added some of those acrylic flowers. And then on this one, let me bring it up a little. I love this image too. And I wanted to bring out the pink, so I added my pink clay flowers. This is a Craft Appliques View trim that I cut down individually. There's a doily around here, but you know, as usual, the doilies, they get pretty well hidden. They're more for structure and just a little bit of interest if they peek out. And then these are some already made applique flowers from my stash. And then here's the middle 2 pages, more birds. Here's a hummingbird, which is one of my favorite types of birds. And I went around it with this trim, also from KS for You. And this was a flower that I cut in half and just added for some interest. Another flower that I made from a trim. And this is from another trim that it had an applique flower, but I used it somewhere else. And I went around this one with this lace gathered trim here. And I just added more appliques. I cut them. I try not to use an applique in its entirety. I like cutting them up and mixing and matching appliques to give them different looks. So that's what I tried to do here. Here's a pearl and bling piece in the middle of that one. Some of them are tea dyed. So yeah, and there's some more dangles and some acrylic pink flowers in this one. And then the last 2 pages, this is the flower page. I'll bring it up a little more. And I just added some different, I made this flower, and there's doilies underneath that. Here's a doily flower that somebody made me, and I added this to it and the rhinestone. And here's 2 more of those pieces from another flower applique. And some more dangles down the bottom. And this green trim that I added the little tiny pearls in the middle of each flower to. And then this is the last page, and you can see it's a bench. It's in a park, and it's got pinks, and it's very I don't know what the word would. It's faded out, but it's actually an old Irish poem or prayer. About the road rising up to meet you. I can't remember it all by heart. I know some of it, so I'm not even going to try, because it's hard to really read the script even when it's up close, but you get the idea. And then there's more appliques and trim, and most of the trims I tea dyed. And then there's the back again. So that's it. This isn't one of my more, let's see, wouldn't call it elaborate, but it's one of my simpler books, but I wanted to try to keep it that way and just concentrate on the images. So that's it. That's what I've done with this book. If you'd like, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And I still have more projects to share. I kept trying to craft a little bit here and there while I was sick, and now I have some that it's just a matter of catching up doing the videos. So, all right, I will see you all again soon. Bye for now.